Etsy transaction fees are about to increase from 5% to 6.5%. This takes place on the 11th of April. Now you have a box. You have two options. You can either absorb or you can pass this on. Hi folks, I'm Ty. In this video we're going to be talking about the Etsy transaction fee news, and if it's something that you like, if it's something you're into, do check out my channel, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's get straight back into it. So option one is to absorb the cost. So you accept that transaction fees are going to increase by 1.5% and you absorb this. This means you don't do anything, your prices don't change, and from a customer perspective, everything is normal, nothing's changed. It should have absolutely zero impact on your sales. The second option is to pass it on. Now what this basically means is, rather than absorb the cost yourself, you increase your prices by 1.5% and you pass on the transaction fee increase. Now you are able to justify this and put it down to inflation. So UK inflation in 2021 was 5.4%. US inflation recently hit 7.5%. Granted, this is due to a current economic and certain bear-ridden Russian-speaking leader, but we won't go there. So apart from that, a generic inflation rise is about 1 to 3%. So increasing your prices by 1.5% is completely normal. So there's your box and there's your two options. You can absorb or you can pass it on. Either way is absolutely fine. You could think outside of the box and go with a variety of different options, a few which we'll cover here. The first one being to reduce your costs. Now, I know what you're thinking, but
Sorry, how do I reduce my costs so it's easier said than done?
Yeah, completely fine. It is hard to reduce your costs, but there are certain ways that you can go about it. For example, if you're creating items yourself, then you can bulk order, bulk buy from a supplier, whether that's AliExpress, whether that's a wholesaler. Start bulk buying your material and you'll see a decrease in costs over time. Another suggestion, if you're paying for ads, stop paying for ads and learn SEO, which is search engine optimization. Learn how to optimize your keywords and your product description, and stop paying for ads, especially on Etsy when you don't need ads to sell. Now, I've been doing pretty well on Etsy for the past year and a half and I don't spend a penny on ads. I started Etsy with like, okay, this is my budget for ads, and it turns out didn't need it. Do a lot better without ads. You do not need to pay for ads. So that's how you can reduce costs. Quit your ads. Now, another out-of-the-box way that you can reduce your costs is to reduce your listing fees. Now, I know that it's only 20 cents per listing, but it does add up. And if you refer a friend to Etsy or refer a family member, you get 40 free listings. That's $8 saved. And if you're making a lot of sales, it does add up over time. So refer as many people as you can. And shameless plug, if you're new to Etsy and you want to get started, then use my link below and get 40 free listings. Give yourself a head start. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can go for the hybrid approach. Now, you could absorb, let's say 1%, and then increase your prices by the 0.5% and do it that way. If you think a 1.5% increase in your prices is too much for your customers, or if you don't want to absorb that whole amount, that's fine. You can split it up. It's absolutely fine. You can do that. Just make sure you've got your calculations right and go from there. The other thing you could do is commit to a stepped approach. Now, this is where you set yourself a target. This could be a sales target, for example, 10 sales. And then after that target's been met within your time period, let's say in 7 days, you increase by a certain percentage. So for example, once I hit 10 sales in 7 days, if I hit that target, I will increase by 0.5%. All prices increase by 0.5%. If I hit those 10 sales again within the following 7 days, I will increase by another 0.5%. And I will keep doing that. Now, you don't have to stop at 1.5%. This is a good way to gauge whether you are charging the right prices. Now, if it gets to the point where you're no longer making those 10 sales, it means you've probably gone overboard. It means you've probably gone too high. So start reducing it and do a reverse stepped approach. The other action that you could take is to explore your options. Etsy is not the only marketplace out there. Granted, it is one of the best, but you can look at your other options and you can evaluate your choices. For example, Shopify. If you are selling a physical item, you could set up a Shopify store, but you'll need a marketing strategy. If that's something that you're good with, if that's something that you have a particularly good set of skills in, go for it. Go down the Shopify route, set up marketing, and go that way. I did it the other way around. I started on Shopify, had a solid Facebook ad strategy, and it just turned out that some products didn't work, and I thought, I'm just going to throw them on Etsy, see how they do. This was once I had an established production partner, and they did quite well on Etsy, so I exclusively sold them on Etsy. Now, if you've got a digital item, let's say print on demand, for example, you could add your items to Redbubble. This has no ads either. This is completely similar to Etsy, kind of like a marketplace where people go for specific print on demand items, and you can post your items on there, no ads. You could make a business with Teespring. Now, Teespring's slightly different. You will need a way to drive traffic to your website, whether that's through ads or your social media. You will need a way to drive traffic. If you're new to the space and you think this 1.5% is going to affect you too much, don't worry about it. I wouldn't let that deter you from starting out. Like, you will get into the swing of things, even if you start with minimum profit margins. Once you get some sales, you can then explore your options and go from there. Just getting started is the hardest point, to be honest with you. So once you get started, stop finding excuses to get started. Stop thinking, oh, 1.5%, I'm not going to start now. Just get started and then tackle the problems as you go along. So folks, that's all from me. I hope you learned something. If you did, then hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, go check out my other videos. I talk about metaverse, Etsy dropshipping, Shopify dropshipping, investing, all that good stuff. If you've got any questions, hit them down below. I'll answer every single comment I post every week. And yeah, thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.